Hi, my name is Cody Leger, and today I'll be talking to you about how to safely and effectively fell a tree. Felling a tree is a very useful skill if done safely and properly. Um, if you live on a homestead, you might have a tree that is rotted out and needs to be taken down for the safety of uh, people or your residents. Uh, Believe it or not, many people attempt to fell trees without any prior knowledge of safety methods or the proper standards of which they should be privy to. And it's very frightening. Some people just hook up a chain to a tree and put it to their truck and chop at the tree. Let's not do that. That's the whole point of this today. Um, as I said, it is useful to me because I live on a pretty large piece of property and it's got some wooded areas. So you have a tree you might need for firewood, or just because it looks like it might come down. Uh, please, please don't take this lightly. If you use this as an instructional, please research further and consider getting certified as a certified arborist, or take some classes from a certified arborist uh, to protect yourself and your property. So today, the three things I will talk about are safety equipment, planning, and proper cutting procedures when cutting down a tree. Mark Weber, who is a board certified arborist, in an article that I read that you should wear protective equipment like gloves, a face mask. You should wear chainsaw chaps and hearing protection before you even start the saw. ANSI Z.133 is an industry standard that most certified arborists go by. So if you want more information, you can go there and research what the industry, what professionals within the industry of tree cutting adhere to. And this is not something that we shouldn't use because we aren't professionals. We should want to use it because the professionals use it. Mark also says that having the appropriate gear may assist in the safe and effective felling of a tree. Lack of proper safety gear can lead to unintended consequences. You can seriously injure yourself, or you can damage your property, which can be very costly. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So, uh, from that, the tree can fall in an unintended direction, and you might not be able to pay attention to it because you don't have the proper equipment. Um, let's say you got something in your eye because you weren't wearing eye protection. Um, that can be a hindrance to you properly putting the tree where you want it to fall. So yeah, having said that, proper safety gear is the first step in safely cutting down a tree. So in this book I read, according to it's a book by L. McDougall called Modern Lumberjacking. The next thing below safety is planning. You want to effectively plan how you fell this tree. So you want to observe the direction of its natural lean. And what I mean by that is every tree is going to have a natural lean. Um, you want to make your face cut in that direction to where it falls naturally. You plan to fell the tree. When you're planning, examine the tree for any signs of rotting or any vines, anything that may be, a ground cover, anything that may be dangerous to your safety. Second thing you want to do is determine if the drop zone is free of people and property that you don't want to damage. The drop zone where the tree is going to go should be 2 times the height of the tree. And the reason that safety factor is built in is because sometimes, even as safe as you are, things happen, and you want to avoid that as much as you can. So you give yourself a safety net of 2 times the height of the tree. When the tree is going down and you're making your final back cut, I'll talk about that in a little bit. What a back cut is, you want to make an audible sound, whether it's a whistle or just yelling, the typical timber when a tree's going down. You want people to be aware that a tree is coming down and not to be anywhere as near it. You should have an escaped plan route. That planned escape route should be at a 45-degree angle in the opposite direction of which the tree is going to be falling. So, as with when you're checking around the tree, you also want to plan your escape route, and you don't want there to be any obstacles in the way. That way, if you have to use that escape route quickly, you can do so. So, safety planning and the actual cut of the tree. You notice how the cut of the tree is the last part. It's because it's actually the least important part. Safety is important, the most important. Planning, and then the cut. Because the cut, anybody can really do that. Anyways, so in a YouTube video I watched called How to Fell a Tree Using a Chainsaw, another certified arborist, Mark Chisholm, he explained how you make a face cut felling a tree. So I have this visual aid right here that might help you. This one on this side, the conventional method is usually what people do, or the open face. I would say the open face is something that people do the most. Professionals prefer the Humboldt because they can have more direction in what, when they're falling, if you have a tree to avoid. Conventional and open face, though, are probably two of the safest ones. Open face allows more control. So as you see, it's pretty much the same concept. You're cutting an angle into the tree you're cutting. So anyways, that notch, the first cut is going to be horizontal if you're using the conventional and Humboldt, and that open face is going to be 245-degree angles. The second cut, the notch in the tree base is going to be at a 70-degree angle or wider to allow the tree to come down in a controlled manner. And that's what that face cut is doing, is controlling it as it falls in a controlled manner. Should be about a third of a way into the total diameter of the tree. You don't want to cut too far in, because that can lead to certain other dangerous things, like a barber chair, where the tree splits and starts to fall uncontrollably. So once the face cut is completed, you go to the back of the tree and you make your felling cut. And that felling cut is right here. And you notice how you don't saw all the way into the tree. This little piece right here that's holding on is called the hinge cut. And that hinge cut is what controls the tree as it falls into the face cut. That's what I wanted to mention, is that back cut should be about an inch above the bottom cut of your face cut, or in other words, in the open face, it's going to be an inch above the small angle of your face cut. So as the tree begins to fall, because when you start cutting your back cut, that tree is going to start falling towards the direction of its natural lean, like we mentioned, like we planned on doing. Um, at that point, you want to make sure it's falling, look up. You want to turn your saw off, turn around, and walk in a controlled manner towards your escape route. Um, Even if something bad were to happen, you still want to use your escape route, orderly, uh, because you might fall, and you can fall, and the tree will fall on top of you. So, a couple points that I went over today were the three most important things in safely and effectively cutting a tree. It's safety first, safety equipment. You want to have all of your PPE on, safety glasses, chaps. You want hearing protection, hard hat. Then you're going to go to planning. Planning is the second part of. It's actually the second part of safety, but it's the second part of tree felling. And then lastly, the third part is actually performing the face cut, coming around to the back of the tree, and making your back cut so the tree comes down. And I hope I enlightened you today and helped you understand how to safely and effectively fall a tree.